What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and huge, major announcement coming out today as we're hearing it's back. And this is your Build Back Better and stimulus check update. Now, that's right, you guys. Take a look. Articles coming out like this morning. Democrats start to sketch out a revived Build Back Better package. Now, I shared this with you a little bit in yesterday's video as we heard from President Joe Biden in that 2-hour-long speech that they were going to be pulling out chunks, he said, of the Build Back Better bill, getting things that they can agree upon, and they just got to pass it through. Democrats have a consensus that if they want to hold on to power in Congress, they've got to pass something before the midterm elections. And I shared with you yesterday as well that Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi reiterated this in an interview that she had, saying she didn't like the term chunks, but she said, just to clarify, we are going to pull the bill apart and we're going to assemble a revised Build Back Better package. And she said we might even need to change the name, but we're going to be working on this, and we're hearing today that it's happening. Take a look, you guys. Articles like this morning. Senator Joe Manchin says that Biden's spending plan talks would start from scratch. So they're starting completely over. They might rename this bill, but they are going to be passing provisions for a stimulus reconciliation bill. So you guys, I'm going to be diving into these articles that came out today and get you caught up on the latest. Also wanted to let you know, keep an eye out for that new video on the second channel, Steve Ram Finance. And if you're somebody interested in growing wealth and personal finance, consider joining. I will pin a comment down below. Click the link, go subscribe, turn on notifications. And for anybody that's looking to start over financially right now, I hope that channel is a blessing to you. Also might be uploading another video on there as well very soon, so keep an eye out for that. But right now, you guys, let's get you caught up on the latest with economic news and what's coming out in Congress about stimulus reconciliation and a revived Build Back Better bill. So first, let's smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Just takes a second. It really helps out my channel a ton. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you'd like to stay up to date, totally free to do so. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Best way by far to get a hold of me, you guys. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so first up, link in the description below to this article that came out today from the Wall Street Journal, and it says, Democrats began to revive their efforts to pass a major childcare, healthcare, and climate package as lawmakers started to accept the fact that they would have to further cater to Senator Joe Manchin in hopes of reaching a deal on the scaled-back plan. And as you know, through the process of reconciliation, they have to pass everything in Congress through a majority vote. And right now, the Senate is split 50-50. So in order for Democrats to pass it through, they literally need every single Democratic senator on board. And right now, Joe Manchin is the one saying he has hesitations because he's concerned about the national debt, and passing a major spending package like this would add to it even more so. And right now, inflation's at a 40-year high, and he's saying we should not do this. And if we do, it needs to be very targeted and consider other ways to offset the spending. So that is his hesitations. Now, after Mr. Manchin said that last month he was opposed to the party's roughly $2 trillion plan, dooming its chances in the 50-50 Senate, the party largely pivoted away from the package for several weeks. Now, after the failure of a separate push on election legislation, Democrats are again turning to the economic plan. So they're now focusing back again on stimulus reconciliation, which President Biden said on Wednesday the party may cut into separate pieces. Now, just to clarify, Nancy Pelosi clarified this. There's only one reconciliation bill that they're going to be able to pass for 2021 for Build Back Better, so they're going to have to tear it apart, then reassemble it and pass it through, and they all have to agree upon it. Now, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on Thursday said that Democrats wouldn't seek to pass multiple pieces of legislation because the procedural problems it could pose, as I just mentioned. But the party will likely have to further scale back its ambitions, she said. Now, she said what the president calls chunks, I would hope would be a major bill going forward. It may be more limited, but it's still going to be significant, she said. And she added that Democrats may have to change the name of the legislation as well, currently dubbed the Build Back Better Act, because they're just totally starting over on this. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's nice, but is Senator Joe Manchin going to get on board? And the answer is yes. As I shared with you that headline earlier in the video, take a look, you guys. Link in the description below to this article from The Hill. Senator Joe Manchin said yesterday, on Thursday, that talks over President Biden's sweeping climate and social spending package would be starting from scratch. So he said he's on board with totally starting over. Throwing cold water, though, on the hopes of a quick revival. So this is going to be starting completely from scratch. Might take a while. They're going to be revising Build Back Better. We're going to start with a clean sheet of paper and start over. Manchin told reporters, adding that he doesn't have talks scheduled with the White House just yet. Pressed if the previous $1.8 trillion offer to the White House was still on the table, Manchin indicated it was not, saying Democrats will just be starting from scratch. Manchin's comments come as the White House and top Democrats get ready to try to turn their focus back into Build Back Better. Now, the bill unraveled in the Senate late last year as Senator Joe Manchin, during a Fox News interview, warned that he could not support a roughly $2 trillion version that was passed in the House. And his comments Thursday underscore how far apart Democrats are on the deal. Now, Manchin initially told reporters on Wednesday that he hadn't yet heard from the White House on trying to break up the package, and said Thursday that he didn't have anything scheduled with the White House yet. Now, if anybody wants to talk, I'm always here to talk, Manchin said. But when asked what the next steps were, he said, I can't tell you. Now, Biden opened the door to shrinking the plan, which was at the heart of his legislative agenda, telling reporters this week that we're going to have to probably break it up. And top congressional Democrats have acknowledged that the spending plan will likely need to be scaled back to win over the support of Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, even as progressives bristle at the idea of going smaller. And as you know, they originally wanted $10 trillion, $6 trillion, $7 trillion. They wanted to have multiple reoccurring monthly stimulus checks. They wanted to have unemployment extensions, all of these provisions, none of which have made it in. They cut it down to $3 trillion. Now it's gone down to almost under $2 trillion. And now we're hearing it's going even smaller. It says progressives initially hoped for $6 trillion before agreeing to a budget resolution that greenlighted a $3.5 trillion bill, only to see it get scaled back even further. Now, Manchin on Thursday signaled a general openness to legislation, while also, though, reiterating his concerns about moving too quickly. He also doubled down his concerns about inflation and the rise of the Omicron variant, and he had this to say: the main thing is that we need to take care of inflation. Get your financial house in order. Get a tax code that works. We can do a lot of good things, but get your financial house in order. Get this inflation down. Get the pandemic out of the way, and then we will be rolling. Manchin has sparked a lot of concern and frustration with his party, as now he has knocked down Build Back Better, reduced it, and also the voting rights legislation. But it looks like they're finally starting to get rolling here, and hopefully we'll have some progress on a new revised stimulus reconciliation bill. So you guys, that is the big news coming out today, and I'm sure we're going to be hearing a whole lot more about it as Congress is now turning their attention back to stimulus. And as it rolls out, I'll be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second to smash the like button. Helps out with the YouTube algorithm a ton. Thank you so much. Leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you like to stay up to date, totally free to do so. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, and consider joining the second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. But with that being said, you guys, I hope this reaches you well, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.